The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
Fire! Welcome to the Gun Shop Show. I'm your host, Eli Bruton, and we are back with another episode of what is quickly becoming the people's favorite gun-related content. The Gun Shop Show is catching on like wildfire.
It is hot, Eli.
And just to remind you, as always, alongside me is Trevor in the homemade control room.
Hello, everybody.
And to my right is our man, Logan. And if you're wondering what you just heard, that is our Logan cam. And we just, when we cut to him, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's the first time. The program just started doing it accidentally.
Yeah,
exactly. I should probably look into that.
We should check into that. But if you are not... if you're not watching on the live stream, we encourage you to do that. And please stop and share the stream. If you're on Facebook watching us, and you know what? 30,000 people did last week.
That's so far. When was that? That number came out 2 days ago. I wonder where we're at now.
Yeah,
Eli?
it's probably up from there. But anyway, share the feed. That's how we spread the word, and that's how we keep this show going. Lots of good news for the show, but today about first-time gun buyers.
We were all a first-time gun buyer at some point.
One time, we were all first-time gun owners. And in today's market, there are a lot of options out there as far as what purchases you can make. So that makes it a little overwhelming to decide, I can only choose one.
Yeah.
What is going to be my first gun? But some show news real quick.
Lay it on them.
The Gun Shop Show will be on TV.
Oh, man.
TV.
TV is short for television.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're going to be on
What?
TV. KODE, that's ABC 12 in Joplin.
That's right.
We couldn't get a live spot, so we are doing it on Sundays from noon to 1.
Okay.
And so if you don't get a chance to watch the stream on Facebook or you don't catch us on News Talk KZRG, on Sundays you can watch an hour of the show on television. So that's pretty exciting.
Heck yeah. If you liked it on Saturday, turn on the TV, watch it again.
Exactly. So before we get into first-time gun buyers and what they should consider before they make their first gun purchase, and this is a good topic for all gun owners because everybody has that experience.
Right. I was a first-time gun buyer not too long ago.
And our listeners can probably help guide new shooters as to what maybe they wish they'd have done different or what experience they had, whether it was good or bad. So let us know in the comments right now how did it go? Your first time buying a gun, what would you have rather done differently? And what things do you think people need to consider when they make their first purchase? But before we get into that, I like telling people how to get free stuff from Liberty Tree Guns.
Oh, yeah, they love that free stuff.
I love that free stuff.
And if you're listening for the first time, what is Liberty Tree Guns? Tree Guns.
It's a place where you get free stuff and guns.
It's the best gun shop on earth.
On Earth.
And that is where the show is coming to you from, is the sales floor of Liberty Tree Guns. We're right here in a gun store bringing this show to you over the airwaves, over the internets, and we want to give you a chance to get some free merch. We're going to start with decal. So if you are in Liberty, it is the best gun shop on earth, then you probably need to be putting one of these stickers on your vehicle.
Show you support.
That's right.
So I'm going to tell you how to get that. But real quick, I'm going to tell you about another free thing you can get.
More free stuff?
Some free hats.
Woo!
And if you're listening on the radio, we've got American flag hats. We've got some all-white ones, which are really popular with the ladies.
Yes, they are.
Super.
And then some what I would describe as denim-colored.
Yep.
They're kind of a bluish-grayish color with an American flag on it.
For those folks who wear denim jeans, denim shirts, and you need to complete that ensemble.
Yeah.
Now
if
the
you
denim hat.
You need a denim hat. You can get that. And Logan, how does a person go about getting this free merch?
So they're going to go to our website at libertytreeguns.com. They're going to go to the top there and select the Liberty Tree merch section. Click on that, and then just add it to your cart. Select your shipping option, and store pickup will be free, of course.
And what is the price on these items?
$0.
$0.
That's free.
What?
That's zilch.
Zilch.
That's nada.
No money out of pocket.
So you're going to put these in the shopping cart just like you're buying an item, but you're not, in fact, buying it because it's free.
I see that we don't have those hats on the site right now. That might alarm some folks, but we promise you we will have them up lickety-split. Right,
Yeah.
Logs?
Yes.
So, I bet before they can even get there.
I bet. It'll
Boom.
probably be up.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about first-time gun ownership.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I have an opinion.
Okay.
And there
You
might
have
have been a little spoiler when
Uh-oh.
the show opened as to what I wouldn't say I have a hard, fast rule that every gun owner should start this way, but I have some thoughts.
Okay. Lay them on us.
But before we get to that, I want to know your thoughts. When we opened the show, that was a little clip from one of our training courses, and that was a student of ours who was, in fact, a first-time gun owner.
Right.
And before she took the class, she was actually a gun shop show listener. She left a voicemail in the voicemail box and asked what things should I be considering purchasing my first handgun.
Right.
And that was something that we went over and broke down on the show, which is the thing we do, which is the thing we'll be doing today, in fact. And let's remind folks how they can leave their own voicemail for the show.
Okay. Let's do that, Eli.
We
Would you like me to sing it and throw it up on the screen? I mean, I can do all those things.
If you can sing it, then
Yeah.
I think that would be
the
way to go.
So if you want to leave us a voicemail, just call 208-918-1776. It's that ending part that really gets you.
Yeah, and that would have been better if you were on camera for that.
Oh.
But
Okay.
you can
That would have been.
try it again.
Try it again. All right, here we go.
This is the voicemail number. Here we
Okay,
go.
so it's 208-918-1776.
There you go. All right. If you would like to leave a voicemail for the Gun Shop Show, just call that number.
That's all it takes.
And what kind of voicemails can you leave?
Anything goes, Logan.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, we like them when they're gun related, but last week we had one that was related to dog toys and lawnmowers and Charlene and murder wasps.
That was old Cummins Diesel.
Yeah.
Cummins Diesel.
So anything goes. But before I talk about my 2 cents on first-time gun buyers, let's. I'm gonna put Logan on the spot.
Let's put him on the spot.
Okay.
So make sure that the Logan cam doesn't do its thing when we
Okay.
cut to him.
Yeah, I have that feature turned off right now.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and cut to him.
He'll still be sweating.
I think we're already cut to me.
All right, we're there.
I think, yeah, we've been there.
So, real quick,
Yep.
what kind of gun, if you can only choose one, should a first-time gun buyer choose?
First-time gun buyer, only one.
You got to pick one. What category would you advise them?
What's it for?
See, that's the thing. We don't know that, which plays a role.
Okay. That's tough. I got 2.
Okay.
Can I have 2? So either an AR or a shotgun.
Very interesting, because I think a lot of people, especially if they're new to the gun world, would say an AR, really, right out of the gate? So we'll come back and get your reasons on why an AR. But your other overlaps with mine. But Trevor, let's talk about your first-time gun ownership experience.
You want my personal experience,
Well,
or what I think?
Listeners may know that you didn't come into Liberty Tree Guns as a avid gun advocate
That-
or
well,
gun owner, I should
Right.
say.
Yeah. Enthusiast would be a strong term to use for me.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it was other factors that drew you to Liberty Tree Guns.
Right. It was, and other factors drove me to wanting to purchase a firearm, which I was looking into purchasing a firearm before I started here. That's why I took the CCW course before I started here. Mostly because the only experience I had with firearms was with the military and a Daisy Rider BB gun. I shot the AR in the Army and then also the BB gun as a child, but I wanted to get into the handgun. So the CCW course was a great way for me to get that experience. And we shot the SR-22?
So you took the class before you worked here.
That's right. Gave you a glowing review, by the way.
Was I your instructor?
No, you were not.
Okay. Well, let's tell folks real quick how they could take a class from us.
Okay.
It's really easy. You can either call the store. The store telephone number, which just occurs to me, we've never put the store telephone number on the Gun Shop Show.
We have not.
But it is 417-358-5700. You can call and get our course dates. You can reserve your seat by calling that number. Or some folks like to do it easily online, which you can do at libertytreeguns.com.
That's right.
Click class courses and training, and then go choose your class date and reserve it right there. So what was your first gun, Trevor?
My first gun was the Smith & Wesson SDV 9E, and for me it was really about price, but also about capacity.
And that was a good entry-level gun. We see a lot of people buy those, and sometimes they choose to upgrade. We're going to break down Logan's choices, my choices on the Gun Shop Show.
Kids are curious by nature. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home by doing these simple tasks. Consider gun locks and/or gun safes for storage of firearms. Don't leave your guns unattended where children could reach them. Discuss with your children the rules of firearm safety. Sign your kids up for hunter safety classes. Firearm safety in the household is your responsibility. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home. For more information, visit jaspercountysheriff.org.
Hey everybody, Eli here, and I'm really excited to tell you that the Gun Shop Show is now brought to you by one of my favorite places on earth, located here in my hometown of Carthage on the beautiful historic square, and that is the Emporium on the square and the Woodshed. It's a art gallery, an event center, a gift shop. They have art classes, and probably my favorite part is the burger and steak joint in the back. But when you walk in, you're in this 150-year-old great big building, and there's very unique Americana artwork from famous artists like Andy Thomas. They handle a lot of his originals and do framing for him, and it just has this incredible old school vibe, and you can feel the history coming through. You have to check out the art gallery, but then as you work your way to the back, into my favorite part, that's the Woodshed. I've spent a lot of nights and had a lot of great meals in here. They've got burgers. They have catfish. I love their catfish. It's excellent. Chicken and waffles even. It's incredible. And it's also a music venue. So this year or last year, we got to see my favorite band of all time, the Ben Miller Band. This is a photo that you're seeing that I took. And the ceiling was literally raining down. They were rocking so hard. But the best thing about it is not only is this my favorite place on earth, but it's owned by one of my favorite people on earth. That's Cherry Babcock. And she is the real deal. She takes care of her customers while they're hosting an event or catering or having a special art class or just their normal business of selling burgers and steaks. Check out the Emporium on the Square and the Woodshed. All right, we're back on the Gun Shop Show. We're talking first-time gun purchases. And before the break, we got some info from Logan about what he thought might be good choices. Both of his were long guns, and that brings me to kind of a point. obviously, if you have identified a specific need that you want to own a gun for, that's going to play a factor in why, and what you get. So, if all your buddies are going pheasant hunting and you want to go, and obviously that's going to shape what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are people that tell me, and I get into this conversation a lot, that they're interested in guns, but maybe they haven't been around them, or they're nervous because they haven't had safety training. So they want to know, I want to own a gun. I want to start down that path, but I don't necessarily know what I want. I just want that experience. So that's kind of the direction that I want to approach this from. Is, someone has a general interest. Maybe they're a little nervous, or maybe they just don't know where to start.
Right.
I'm going to make some arguments for why they should consider the following.
Okay.
And one being that I think people gravitate toward handguns just because, one, they're small and handy. Two, you see them portrayed in pop culture. But I would urge first-time gun buyers to consider a long gun first for a few reasons. It is easier to become proficient in aiming and firing with a long gun. Why? One, the mechanics are larger, so therefore less fine motor skills, but also just the simple physics of aligning sights is easier on a long gun.
Right.
So if you have the sight radius, which is the length from the rear sight to the front sight, the longer it is, the easier it is to be precise.
Right, yeah, I get that.
So if you move a long gun a 1/16 of an inch, the front, the end of the muzzle, the bearing that's going to have on your accuracy at the target point is less dramatic than if you move. It's going to be less dramatic than that of a handgun. You might be inches off with a long gun, where you could be feet off. So it's also more difficult to point a long gun at something that you don't intend to, or even at yourself.
Absolutely.
It's a lot harder to take a long gun and turn it around and accidentally shoot yourself than it is a long gun.
Yeah, I get that.
In fact, growing up, that was one thing that I remember as a theme, is like, as I was getting old enough to take a rifle out, whether it was I always wanted a pellet pistol very early on. I didn't understand why can I have a pellet rifle, but those that were in charge of me didn't want me to have, a pellet pistol. But the argument was, it's a lot easier to turn that thing around, and
do harm to yourself.
Yeah, by accident or by negligence. So those are a couple factors why long guns are important. But before I tell you my top pick for someone just generally interested in gun ownership for maybe more than one reason, for personal defense, for home defense, for sporting. But I want to hear Logan's, and I really hope that we don't have that Logan cam issue. When
I'm doing my best to suppress it every time.
But I want to hear he said AR, which is something that I didn't expect him to say, that I'd like to hear more on.
Go.
Okay, so yeah, the reason I said AR is the ease of use. They're incredibly easy to use, incredibly easy to change out if need be. But for the first-time gun buyer, I think that they're easy enough to use and versatile enough that you won't have too many issues compared with something more complex or something smaller like a handgun.
Another factor it's a simple feature of the AR that does make it great for even a youth rifle at times is because of adjustable stock.
Yeah.
So low recoil. So it's something that you can take a new hunter out. They can, and just because ARs have the capability of high capacity magazines doesn't mean you have to use them.
No.
You can load one round in an AR if you choose to. And it is very simple, and there's a lot of resources out there, a lot of information, a lot of modifications that can be made. I know that there are charities that take disabled veterans hunting, and because of the ability to modify an AR to make it really easy to use, even for someone with disabilities with their hands and their arms, maybe they, have an injury or something that keeps them from operating in a normal way, an AR can be modified to that. Plus, you have multiple caliber uses. So it's not a bad argument to be made. Now, I want to talk about, if I could only pick one, I want to talk about actually the first gun that I owned in my youth, and one that makes a really good option for a first-time gun buyer.
Can I take a stab at it?
Yeah.
Would you be talking about a shotgun?
I was talking about a shotgun.
I knew it.
In fact, the shotgun that I opened the show with actually belongs to my wife, Vanessa. I have a very similar one. But if you're watching on the live stream, you see a Remington 870 20 gauge. And it's got this particular version has a 24-inch barrel. It's got a laminated stock. And there are many reasons why I endorse this as a good way to get experience with a gun for the first time. The multi-purpose nature of a shotgun is one top reason why I would urge people to consider it.
Right, because you can use that for self-defense. You can use it for hunting birds. What else can you use it for?
With slugs, you could hunt deer or medium to large game.
Yeah, okay.
There are bear hunters that use slugs to take even large game down. These things will fire everything from less lethal rounds, like beanbag rounds. Not that the average new gun owner would need that, but just to speak to the versatility. Flare rounds. So this particular version is a really good example. It's not a home defense shotgun, so it's got a little bit longer barrel. I'm going to try not to point that right at the camera, but it does have a barrel that is long enough to give you the range to do something like sporting clays, which is where you use a machine to throw a clay target through the air to simulate the flight of a bird, and then fire at it, which is, if you've never done it, is fun for...
It is great fun. We did that a couple of years back for the, the Young Life Foundation?
Yeah, we...
and I'm pretty sure we won. We won the whole thing.
No, that's not accurate. We were terrible.
I thought we were 100%.
We did not meet the expectations that I think a lot of people would have for a gun store in our proficiency. But you know what we did?
Showed up.
We showed up.
We showed up.
We had a great time. And we supported a great cause.
That's right.
Enjoyed some good weather, some good folks. So we'll break down a little bit more on why a shotgun is a good choice. We're also going to hear from our new flagship sponsor, U.S. Law Shield, and break down what they can do for you on the Gun Shop Show. The Ruger Security 9 LTO, an exclusive new firearm only from Liberty Tree Guns. This is an affordable pistol that comes with Ruger's renowned reliability and workmanship, and comes with an optic with a 3-year warranty. If you haven't ever shot a pistol with an optic on it, it's a lot of fun and you can really acquire a target quickly. All right, Ruger Security 9 LTO unboxing. So it pretty much obviously comes with everything the Ruger Security 9 would already come with, and this is how they look in the box. Ruger started doing this insert in the box, which is kind of nice. We've had to modify it a little bit to make sure that your optic fits. So there's a cutout so the cover can go on and then the gun can fit right here in that. They come with 2 mags, so a lot of price point guns you're just getting 1 mag, but you get 2 15 round OEM mags. A couple little bonuses is the optic comes with the AR mounts. So if you want to pull this optic off and run it on an AR, you've got everything that you need. That's a freebie, just comes in the box. Once we pull this insert out, here's where all the goodies that come with the optic. Got a 3-year warranty on the Firefield optic, the user manual. It has the tools for both mounting the optic if you want to take it off, and also the adjustment screwdriver for the windage and elevation, and then all of the factory information for your pistol. So this is the format that those will come in. And again, guys, remember, this is an option if you are excited to try out an optic on a pistol and you want to do it for a price point. So these at this price are cheaper than some guys are paying for just an optic. You're getting the gun and the optic. You can get the price and all the details at libertytreeguns.com. Just search LTO.
Hey everybody, it's Eli at Liberty Tree Guns here at 530 West Fur Road in Carthage, Missouri, and I want to show you a gun collection that we just bought from an individual. A little bit of everything in this one. We wrote a check for 22 guns. Got some newer lever guns, cool Henry Silver Boy, some older shotguns. This is a cool old 410 double barrel. This was a good mix. There was some newer type stuff, some old stuff here, some black powder, some cool Colt, black powder revolvers, newer Rugers, Mark IIIs, PMR 30, Taurus Judge, couple of Taurus revolvers, got a long slide 1911 right here, and then got this cool Llama 45. We just sold the sister to that gun in 38 Super. This particular individual, this was half the collection that we bought from him. And so I just want to remind you that we pay top dollar for entire collection. So we'll buy 1 gun or 100 from you, and we can offer consignment where we sort of establish what these guns are worth and we pay you out when they sell. Or in the case of this one, we offered consignment, we discussed it, and then we offered a cash price, which was a little bit less than the consignment settlement price, but it's quick. It was 1 check, and we paid those all out to this individual. And probably the biggest, baddest, coolest one of the whole mix was this Bushmaster BA-50. So we have everything from little antique 22 to 50 cals in this one collection. I want to remind you that we'd love a chance to collection. Find us at libertytreeguns.com or here on Fur in Carthage, Missouri. See you soon.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show, and we are talking about first-time gun ownership. And gun ownership is obviously key to what we do here at Liberty Tree Guns. If it weren't for gun owners, there would be no gun stores and therefore no gun shop show. But also, there would not be liberty and freedom without gun ownership. Our founders thought that gun ownership was not only important, but it was completely necessary to maintaining a free society and keeping government in check. And in fact, the right of individuals to own guns was at the very core of the founding of our country. In fact, they
put a little blurb in that document about it, didn't they?
Yeah, they put a little blurb in the Constitution. They did, and in fact, just not too long ago, we had a customer come in and remind us that it was the Battle of Lexington and Concord where the British Army was trying to disarm Americans. So we go all the way back pre-founding of our country to when that became important. So if you're considering owning a gun for the first time, just know that it's more, it's all these things. It's self-defense, it's sport, it's conservation, it's safety, but also it is doing your part in being part of a free society as a responsible gun owner. But this whole thing, I mentioned that the store wouldn't be possible without you, the listener, without you, the customer at Liberty Tree Guns, but the gun shop show itself would definitely not be possible without our sponsors. And proud to have a new sponsor in U.S. Law Shield. U.S. Law Shield makes the gun shop show possible, and what do? They are legal defense for your another court system come after you, right?
That's right. Uh-oh.
You know what that means.
I think I know what that means.
What does that sound mean?
I think it means it's time to check the email.
No, that's wrong.
The text message?
The SMS messages?
Hopefully someone in the comments of the feed can let us know.
And teach these guys on the gun shop show.
It's vaguely familiar.
Like a whistle.
Talk mail.
Ooh, it's time to snap.
It's time to check the voicemail.
Oh, that old Jim.
I forgot about that.
So
sorry, man. It's been a week. I forget about all this
yeah,
stuff.
and those listeners want to have their voicemail questions answered. But first, we need to finish talking about U.S. Law Shield. So even if you're justified, even if you follow all of the rules, sometimes the court system can still come after you. And even if ultimately you're found to be justified, you did everything right in a self-defense encounter, it could still cost you a lot of time and money to prove that you're justified.
Right.
So we actually have a clip from an example of a U.S. Law Shield case, and this particular member did something that I always advise against in concealed carry class, and that is she fired a warning shot. But the fallout from that was big time.
Just from firing the warning shot?
Yeah, nobody got hurt, but it had a huge impact on her life. So let's go ahead and play that, and you get the audio, and if you're watching on the live stream, you get the video as well.
This is a reenactment and dramatization of an actual member story. This video does not and is not intended to depict or replicate the actual persons, places, or circumstances involved in the incident.
No good deed, or in this case, good warning shot, goes unpunished. Imagine spending 2 years of your life fighting a charge for defusing a violent fistfight in your front yard. That's exactly what happened to one Law Shield member in 2016. One evening in the fall of 2016, the member went out for dinner with her husband and his brother. Like in any family, differences of opinion can arise, and the member's husband and his brother began an argument on the way home. At their residence, the member went inside the home and began to get ready for bed. The next thing she heard was a loud argument outside in her front yard. She looked out of her window and saw her husband and his brother locked in a bloody fistfight. She then ran outside and pleaded with the men to stop fighting. They wouldn't listen. The member ran back into her bedroom, retrieved her handgun, and walked out of the front door. She again shouted, "Stop fighting!" but they continued brawling. The member, fearing the fight would escalate further, pointed her firearm down to the ground and away from the direction of the men and her neighbors' homes. She fired directly into the soft ground. Obtaining her desired result, the men immediately stopped fighting. Understandably, a concerned neighbor called the police when he heard the gunshot. The police arrived, rushed their investigation, and instead of arresting either man, arrested the member for deadly conduct, recklessly engaging in conduct that placed another in imminent danger of serious bodily injury. There was absolutely no direct, circumstantial, or forensic evidence showing the member's shot into the ground placed any person in imminent danger of suffering serious bodily injury. The evidence showed only that the round went into the ground away from any buildings or people. However, Based on the responding officer's assumptions and misunderstanding of the law, the member was arrested. The member's nightmare was just beginning. Countless court settings, and 2 years later, prosecutors finally dismissed her case because they couldn't find any evidence to corroborate the alleged crime. As you can see, the police and even prosecutors can sometimes misunderstand the facts and the law. Luckily, the member had an independent program attorney armed with the knowledge to defend her and ensure a dismissal. While this member was reasonable in her actions that night, and ultimately her case dismissed, you should never fire a warning shot unless you're up for a long and hard fight for your freedom.
So this is just one example, and I advise against warning shots. I would not recommend you doing that, but this particular gal was concerned about those folks' safety.
Right.
And you could even argue she made a mistake when she did that. But rather than it being identified as no harm, no foul, she was charged criminally. Thankfully, she was a member of U.S. Law Shield, which means you're entitled to complete coverage of all your legal expenses. You have essentially a whole team of attorneys on retainer defend you in court, whether criminally or civilly, as long as it's not a heinous act. So her case, even though she made a mistake, and that's one of the great things about U.S. Law Shield is they don't look for reasons to bail on you. She didn't do anything aggressive.
Right.
She was not the initial aggressor. She didn't hurt anybody, but yet she had this big legal fight on her hands. Now, I've personally been on the receiving end of civil court battles that were of no fault of my own. Thankfully, they weren't self-defense related, but I essentially had somebody that was hard up for money. They saw me as an opportunity to hire an attorney to come after me. And ultimately, we won. We were in the right. But just to prove that I was in the right and our contract was being honored, I had to hire an attorney and pay quite a bit of money back and forth, negotiating, all of these things. Even this was just over a simple business transaction, but it costs a lot of money. And I can't imagine if it had been a circumstance where my life was on the line and I took action.
Right, or your freedom is at stake.
Yeah, and most people are not in a position to pay out of pocket. They may have just been in a very traumatic circumstance with a family member or someone they care about. And U.S. Law Shield gives you that guaranteed protection. It's a prepaid legal program. You can learn more at uslawshield.com. If you go to that website and use the promo code LibertyTree, you'll get 2 extra months for free and get upgraded to Platinum Plus, which we'll have to break down when we get back on the Gun Shop Show.
This just in. Huge cave found beneath the heart of the city. Spelunkers shared tales of an underground cavern system in Carthage, Missouri. Locals report the entrance to be at 10th and Garrison.
Cave Gang Pizza. Hop in and enjoy wings, wood-fire pizza made with local ingredients, and our full bar. Bring the whole gang and uncover a legend.
Commercial idea for Netfishes. I walk into the commercial director, we'll call his office. I say to him, "Hey, how's it going?" He replies, "Good, we got your commercial ready to go. Are you ready to listen?" "Yeah, but before I do, I have an idea I want to float by you." He says, "Okay," a bit sarcastically. And I say, "All right." And I clear my throat and I start singing this song, something similar. "Netfishes, we're all really good friends, hanging out and stuff, and having memories to talk about when we were young. Netfishes." And I say the business name wrong, like fishnets. He replies, "That's terrible. And you didn't even say the right business name at the end. It's your business." Then it cuts to Netfishes. where we can all be friends. End commercial.
Hey man, we got to do this About Anywhere porta potty commercial.
I kind of have my hands full.
I didn't want to bother you, but we really got to get it done.
You know this is where I go to do my special project. I'm almost done, hang on. I'm done. The Gun Shop Show is brought to you by About Anywhere Porta Potties.
They'll take you anywhere.
You can take a beep anywhere.
We are back on the Gun Shop Show, and we're talking about first-time gun buyers and things that they should consider. And that voicemail box will not relent.
No, it will not.
It's time to get my voicemail phone out.
It needs to be emptied, Eli. Get it out. Yeah, there you go. Whew. And that thing probably weighs like 20 pounds more than the other part, right? Oh man. Oh, that's a doozy. Okay.
All right. So,
are you ready?
For radio listeners, we have a phone that helps us access that. One thing we don't have, though, is a promo, like a theme song for checking the voicemail. So
we make it fresh every time.
We've just been having to do it on the fly.
Yep.
So we're going to do that again this time.
Okay.
I've got my guitar.
ZZ, what is it? Top guitar?
Old ZZ Top Gun.
Oh, it's ZZ Top Gun, and I've got ZZ Top drumsticks.
Right. So, let's just wing it. I don't. Can you give me just a count in?
Yeah.
With the drumsticks.
Okay. Are you ready?
I don't really remember the song, but I think if you click me in, I'll kind of know.
I can try here.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
All right, and make sure the camera stays on us for this portion.
Yeah, totally. So it's
Okay, I got it. I
got that
yep.
count?
Let's
okay.
go.
So I'm just going to count it off by voice this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you ready to check the voicemail?
Oh, man.
I broke a string on that one.
Man, it looked like you might have broke 2 that time.
Yeah, I did. I broke 2 strings.
Gosh, we're gonna have to get Fender to sponsor this show or something, like a string maker or something.
Yeah, this is eating into our costs.
Starting to get expensive
here at the Gun Shop Show.
Yeah.
Luckily, we picked up some new sponsors this week, which
we
will
did.
be U.S. Law Shield being chief among them, but so many other great ones, great businesses that have the same ethics and beliefs that we do, that we can partner with and bring. It's not just we're throwing an ad on here. These are people that we believe in, that we'll send you to with confidence. So really good news. But we have a voicemail box that we can't neglect.
That's right.
So let's go ahead and I'll just access
top secret
voicemail right now.
Top secret numbers there.
Got some codes in here.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably tapping. All right.
Yeah, and let's see if the link worked.
Okay.
Hi, guys. This is Alan from Joplin, Missouri. I read on Facebook that it's illegal to concealed carry while wearing a face covering. Just wanted to know if that's true. Thanks.
So, have you guys seen this going around?
I haven't, but I did see today that there is like some people are carrying around cards saying that they're a part of a mask freedom organization or something. Is that related to it?
So there's been some discussion as of late of passing city ordinances that would require citizens to wear a mask, coronavirus related.
Right.
Okay. And obviously there's people that don't want to be forced to wear a mask. But it's a meme, you could say.
Right.
Some information posted on the internet, which
everything on the internet.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
It's all true, right?
No.
Everything. What?
Everything.
I don't know if it is. So I have my gut feeling about whether or not it is illegal to concealed carry while wearing a face covering. But I'm not an attorney. Now, I have read Missouri statutes when it comes to self-defense and concealed carry, forwards, backwards, talked about
which
it in class.
all pretty cut and dry, I'm sure.
It is pretty straightforward. But why would you just listen to some redneck
gun store owner
with a
/
beard?
armchair lawyer?
You wouldn't.
It's not you that's the lawyer, Eli.
Because I always have to say,
It's
now
your
keep
beard.
in mind, I'm not an attorney. But thanks to our sponsor, U.S. Law Shield, we have someone that is. So let's go to our expert on all things self-defense and an actual real-world attorney. Do we have John from U.S. Law Shield on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's bring him over. John, thank you so much for being on the show. You heard the question. I got probably 10 different private messages asking me about this, so this is making the rounds on social media. Here in our area, there were some city councils considering making wearing a mask at all times in public mandatory. Whether or not they're going to be able to actually do that is another question, but would it make it illegal to carry while their face is covered in Missouri?
It would not. That's a question I've been getting a lot lately, too. There is no law in Missouri that states if you're wearing a face mask that you can't carry a firearm as well. Municipalities, I suppose, could enact a law to that effect. If you're concerned about your local municipality, you could contact the local police or sheriff's department, but I don't expect that's going to be the case, and it's certainly not a state law.
Yeah, and now on a normal day, you probably don't want to be concealed carrying and wearing a ski mask. There are reasons not to cover your face and go into certain public places like a gas station or a bank. So best practices wise, we can talk about why you shouldn't cover your face. But if there's an actual medical need and that's a common thing, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and abide by those rules if you're a person that feels more comfortable wearing a mask. But just to recap, you would not be breaking any laws if you chose to carry and wear a mask.
True, and if you're particularly concerned about it, you could always be sure that you're wearing something that looks like a medical mask. I think if you're wearing something that's a medical mask, that's going to be clear that you're not trying to conceal your face because you're about to rob a bank or a store. But that's correct, and it's not illegal.
Great, thank you. You hear it cut and dry. You don't have to hear me say I'm not an attorney anymore here on the Gun Shop Show. We have experts like John and our great sponsors over at U.S. Law Shield. John, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to help our listeners.
Yeah, happy to be on.
Thanks
guys.
so much. That is a big weight off my shoulders because as a trainer, as a concealed carry instructor, I get a lot of legal questions. And while I can say, here's and here is instances where the law has been enforced in these ways, I can't and shouldn't tell you, here are the legal decisions that you should make. Here is my legal advice. However, as a member of U.S. Law Shield, you actually, on top of all the other benefits, you can call in and even in a non-emergency basis and ask clarifying questions. And, of course, we're going to keep bringing them to you on the Gun Shop Show every chance we get. But what a great benefit.
Absolutely. And do you happen to know, like, state by state, do they have representatives from each state that you would talk to?
I believe that's how it works, yes.
Okay.
So you call, and we'll post all that information. And, of course, when you sign up, you're going to get all those resources.
Yeah.
You're going to get a number that you can contact. And that hotline for basic questions I know is open during like business hours.
Yeah.
And then of course there's an emergency hotline. Like I've just been involved in a shooting and I need to know what to do and what to say. And they'll send an attorney physically to you, if you're taken into custody or even just voluntarily at a police station or something while they're investigating, you can have that attorney physically respond as well as respond on the phone in the interim. So, really good sponsor. We'll be getting a lot of great information from those guys. And so that won't be the last time we hear from their experts and folks at U.S. Law Shield.
Thank you, U.S. Law Shield.
Thank you very much. Now, we have more voicemails.
We do.
Yeah.
We were
Yes,
overflowing.
So we'll get to those. Now, keep in mind, if we run out of time here on the radio, soon we'll have 2 hours on the radio. And we'll have 2 hours no matter what, always. No matter where you see the show. If you see it on television, you can go get the second hour in audio form on all the major podcast players.
That's right.
You can get it on YouTube and Facebook, where you can even watch the video. And participate in the live stream, where you can get your questions and comments and help guide the show.
We always love to hear from folks. Don't forget about our Facebook group. Did you mention the Facebook group?
I didn't mention the Facebook group. It's blowing up.
Gosh, it is.
So it's a sort of an insiders, fans of the Gun Shop Show Facebook page, where you can contribute to the show and get your 2 cents added. We've actually brought guests who we met in the Gun Shop Show Facebook group on as contributors to the show.
That's right. That's right. We had, I don't remember his name, but he had a, what was it? It was a double barrel or?
A double barrel AR, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Okay, so we're going to continue breaking down what first-time gun owners should consider. But first, we need to finish checking the voicemail.
That's right.
All right, let's roll it.
So I'm calling from Joplin. My name is John Hart, and I was wondering, what is the best rifle to use during deer season, of course, to hunt deer off of your new deck built by the deck company of Joplin? Just throwing that out there.
So, clever use of the voicemail, and we might not have let that one squeak through, except for the deck company of Joplin is a brand new sponsor of the Gun Shop Show.
That's right.
When we come back, we'll break down what is the best gun to use to hunt deer off your deck on the Gun Shop Show. Hey, podcast listeners and live stream viewers. I wanted to let you know that the Gun Shop Show is made possible by our friends at Mid-America RV. Being in the customer service industry, I have a really high standard for how customers are treated. Mid-America RV does it right. I've got my RV through their dealership, and I've taken it all over the country. We made it to South Padre Island. We've gone to Colorado several times. And if you've ever owned an RV, you know there's a lot that comes with it. So who you get it from matters. And it's extremely important that you have support after the sale. And here's some photos of my trips to Colorado that we took in our RV from Mid-America RV. They're located just outside of Carthage. They have a really vast inventory, and they are home of the lifetime RV warranty. So I believe they call it a forever warranty. So I urge you, if you're in the market for one, to check them out. It's a really fun and can be very affordable way to get your trips in. So visit them at midamericarv.com. We appreciate their support of the Gun Shop Show. And as you can see, they have a large inventory selection of trailers and fifth wheels, and they specialize in those. They don't carry any motorhomes or anything like that. So if you are in the market for a tow-behind RV of any size, from a little teardrop to a full size, I urge you to check out Mid-America RV. Now, we weren't sent any promotional material, so we decided, and this is from genuinely from my personal experience. There's a trip of me in Colorado in my Surveyor that I got from Mid-America RV, and so we decided we would make our own commercial for these guys since we believe in them so much. So, Trevor, I assume that you are prepared with material, right?
I'm going to jingle on the spot.
You didn't make one ahead of time.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right.
And I'm actually a little nervous right now.
Can you put it on the lot?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
Let's refresh. And here we go.
They may not appreciate this.
Mid-America RV, the San Francisco treat.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not so hot at the making up of stuff, so I borrow from other people.
Okay, well, the point is Mid-America RV will treat you right. If you're in the market for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, check out Mid-America RV.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
So, I'm calling from Joplin. My name is John Hart, and I was wondering what is the best rifle to use during deer season, of course, to hunt deer off of your new deck built by the deck company of Joplin. Just throwing that out there.
All right, so I don't know. I usually say anything goes in the voicemail box, but this is the first shameless plug. So the question is, what would be the best gun to hunt deer during deer season off of your back deck, built by the deck company of Joplin?
Now, it has to be specific to the deck company of Joplin, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you had your deck built by anybody else, this may not qualify?
This doesn't apply to you. And why would you have your deck built by anyone but the deck company of Joplin? Because if the deck company of Joplin believes in the Gun Shop Show, then they're probably the folks to do business with.
Sounds like a good decision-making folks to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It does to me too. And so the deck company of Joplin is an official sponsor. So you're probably going to start seeing some information about them and how you can contact them. In fact, I have a project that I'm slated to talk to them about.
Oh, that's right.
A deck of my own. But let's answer the question. Callers might say, or listeners might think, what do you mean hunt deer off your back deck? That doesn't sound legit.
Why couldn't it be?
Oh, it's legit.
It's legit. Especially here in southwest Missouri.
Yeah.
I know that the house that I just moved away from, you could have done that every night.
Oh, yeah. Did you?
I didn't. I didn't. Just because, you know what?
But he could have.
You know something I didn't consider?
What did you not consider?
I used to like to deer hunt.
Not such a big fan?
I still like it.
Yeah.
However, no one warns you.
I feel like I know where this is going.
No one warns you when you open a gun store that you can kiss hunting season goodbye.
Oh, yeah. See, I would have thought it was the cleaning thing more than anything. You know,
processing the deer?
Yeah, like you go fishing, it takes you minutes to clean fish. How long does it take you to do the deer?
I actually enjoy processing the deer, and I do it all by hand myself.
Sweet.
But and that's not something that deters me, but the store is generally overwhelmed during that time of year, and so we don't get a chance to get away. And some of our other guys like to hunt too, so if anybody gets a chance to sneak away, I kind of leave that to some of the guys here. So,
well, I have an excellent solution for you, Eli.
What?
We'll just move the store to somewhere where the back deck oversees an area where deer might be, and then we can work and pick off the deer.
Yeah, with our new Ruger American Ranch.
From a deck built by
the deck company of Joplin. Right. And here's going to be my answer. I'm choosing for you a Ruger American Ranch in 300 blackout with subsonic rounds with a suppressor. And no pressure, Logan. And I really hope the Logan cam doesn't happen right now.
I think we're safe for now, Eli.
Okay, so I hope when we cut to him that it definitely does not do the Logan cam thing that it did at the beginning of the show.
It's in love with him.
Okay, let's just cut over there and see if it happens.
Okay, well, it's not going to happen because it's on you, but you never know when it... Here it goes. Logan.
That's going to get cumbersome if every time that I try to talk to you, it does that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just curious how you're getting the hair to wave the same every time.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty windy in here.
I would definitely not look on the far left corner to see if there might be a needle from a thing of canned air. But we're talking suppressors.
We're talking suppressors.
What does a suppressor do?
The sound of a firearm by redirecting the gases in such a way reduce the sound.
Reduce the decibels.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks might refer to that as a silencer.
Yeah.
Which purists will say it's a suppressor. It's a sound suppressor. It's not a silencer.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Same thing.
Silencer shop, one of the biggest dealers ever, they call it silencer shop.
Yeah.
But what that is if you're watching on camera, is a device that threads generally onto the muzzle of the way less loud.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are somewhere where you might have neighbors, obviously I'm not talking about in town, somewhere where it's legal to shoot a gun, but you might not want to disturb your neighbors, 300 blackout will take a deer down pretty handily.
Yeah.
When that caliber several years ago was gaining popularity, our good buddy Grant Lavelle brought in a video of him shooting a doe with 300 blackout out of an AR. Just crumpled it. I mean,
really?
She just went down immediately. But the cool thing about the Ruger American is you get the classic style of a bolt action, but you get detachable AR mags, and with the optional suppressor, which you can purchase from Liberty Tree Guns because we are an NFA dealer. We also have a kiosk that we can use to help you complete your... Yeah,
that's right. Here, let's cut over to that beautiful kiosk.
Yeah, look at that.
Man.
That allows you to submit your paperwork to own a suppressor, collect your fingerprints, do all that in one fell swoop.
Yep.
We can help you with that. So that is my pick, although there are many options that you could use. But if you are hunting deer off of your back deck, built by the deck company of Joplin, you use this. All right, so let's move on. I think we have one more voicemail. Hang on, let me re-access the account here.
And,
okay.
Top secret numbers.
Do the spinny thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
And remember, if you would like to leave a voicemail, just call 208-918-1776. Roll number 3.
Well, hello. This is Vladimir calling from Russia once again. I'm very excited this call because I've been watching national news about your American Seattle with the Chaz. I like the name, sounds very Mother Russia. I'm also very proud of the socialists and communists in your country who are tearing down the American statues of presidents and those tyrants and leaving up our hometown hero, Mr. Lenin. So, God bless communism, God bless Seattle Chaz.
Well, first of
Vladimir,
all,
once again,
I'm questioning his street cred in Russia. His English accent is getting much better.
Well, you know, the more you speak it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Also, we're back to plural communisms. Not just the one. Not just the one.
There's many communisms.
He says, Chaz, I like the name.
Chaz? What?
He said it's very Mother Russia.
It's very Mother Russia.
What? Okay, I didn't get the Chaz thing. Who's Chaz?
Chaz is the autonomous zone.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
So they took, in Seattle, they took over and formed, basically declared independence from the United States.
And when did this happen? I'm out of the loop on this.
Really?
Yeah, I have not heard about it.
It was recent.
I ain't heard about this.
Yeah, it's some activists did that, and let's just say they're the kind of folks that Vladimir might sympathize with. And he's just saying he's rooting for them.
Okay.
You know, most of our listeners probably were not, but that's
yeah,
for you to decide.
Probably not. I mean, unless they're rooting for their failure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
I don't think that's how that works, though. You can't just claim that this land is now your land.
I don't think it worked out.
That went out the window. I don't know, like a couple of years back. I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, so remember, if you would like to leave us a voicemail, just call. Logan, can you let the listeners know?
Yeah.
What's
about
the number?
voicemail?
Yeah.
The voicemail number is 208-918-1776.
See, it's that jingle.
Yeah.
It's that jingle that makes it work.
Yeah, because Logan didn't even know the number until you jingled it.
That's right. What can I jingle for you?
Okay. Let's get back into first-time gun owners.
Let's do it.
And there are a lot of reasons why a person might want to own a gun. For personal protection.
Right.
But, if they want to get involved with a shooting sport that requires that kind of gun. So that might alter your decision. But ultimately, there's going to be a lot of factors. Ease of use, budget, intended use. Any big takeaways, Trevor, that you want to jump in with?
Yeah, I mean, all I can really do is speak from my personal experience, and for me, at first it was definitely budget, and capacity. I wanted to make sure I got the most for my money, and also compact enough that I can take with me. I like the idea of the shotgun because you don't have to be an eagle eye to protect yourself with it. That's the great thing about it, right? But like you were saying with the handgun, it's harder to hit your target.
So, Trevor, what was the initial reason you purchased a firearm?
Personal safety. An event happened that kind of just woke me up to I need something. I feel like I can protect myself, but in an instance where I'm, someone else has a firearm, I definitely want to equalize that situation.
That's the beauty of gun ownership is that regardless of our physical stature, regardless of our circumstances, a gun is an equalizer. And we like to put those in the hands of good people. If I remember right, you had something crazy kind of happen in the neighborhood where you live.
Oh, yeah. There were 3 murders in 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, one of them.
Scary.
I mean, I think only one of them was actually, 2 of them were actually murders. The other one was a murder-suicide. Not that makes it any better, but
it still is a reminder that things can happen in your neighborhood.
That's right.
And so we're going to be breaking that down. I've got some more thoughts on this on the Gun Shop Show. Guys, if you're anything like me, you would never buy a new vehicle, which means you need to find a good used vehicle, which is exactly what I did, and I found it at High Profile Power Sports. Jason over at High Profile helped me find my new beloved Bacon LT. And I was going to show off my Chevy Bacon LT, but I have a bird that has it out for me and really ruined my ability to show off the Bacon LT that I got from High Profile. Again, I got my Bacon LT from High Profile. And again, a bird ruined my chance to show you because my truck is in a condition that I would be utterly embarrassed to put in an advertisement. So I would for sure never show my Bacon LT that I got from High Profile Sports covered in bird crap.
Never?
Never. Ugh. Again, if you're in the market for something like a Bacon LT, go to High Profile, get your Bacon LT from High Profile. Go to hppowersports.com. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. We were just talking about how something went down in Trevor's neighborhood.
It got dark. It got dark.
Yeah. And made him consider the fact that maybe he should own a gun. Now, every time there's a surge in gun ownership, I get calls from media outlets, especially if it's a shooting. Something tragic happens.
Yeah.
And then sales go up. And they come and they interview me, which, by the way, they tell me that they call all the other gun stores and they refuse to talk to them.
You're their go-to guy now, Eli.
So,
I guess so.
All I had to do was say, yeah, I'll talk to you. People are afraid of being put on the spot, so they say no to the interview. But I've had them come over and they're like, how does it make you feel that such and such tragedy has caused extra panic and therefore profit for you. Actually, they don't do it that.
And you're like
But
wiping.
There's
your
no
tears
fist
with
at the face.
Yeah, they're not doing the.
Oh, is that a microphone?
That's a microphone.
Oh,
they
they holding it up like a
yeah,
gangster or something.
They're turning it up like
makes it more effective.
Sir, can you please tell me? You know, they're not doing it like that. But and actually, all of our local news outlets have been pretty good. But there is that they want that story. How do you feel that your sales have gone up because of this tragedy? And I only look at that as a silver lining. Those tragedies are horrible. I wish they never happened. But if it's something that motivates a good person to be mindful of their self-defense, that's a win.
Right.
And so a lot of people start out like you. They're thinking about inside their home, right? And they have no interest sometimes, at least initially, in carrying outside the home. They're thinking about, I should be safe because you're a sitting duck inside your own home. I want to have the mechanism to defend myself if some unauthorized person comes into my house.
Absolutely.
So that is one of the many factors that leads me to advocating for a pump shotgun as a gun owner's first gun.
So I have a question for you, Eli. If your first firearm was not a shotgun, do you think you'd still choose a shotgun as a recommended first firearm for new gun owners?
Yeah, I do think so. Now, my first gun ever was a 20-gauge Remington 870 pump. And a lot of kids' first guns are 22 long rifle, bolt
that was
action.
my first gun.
Which makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. But I think one argument for the shotgun for me was using birdshot, you have less risk of overpenetration. So we lived on a farm, rural, but if I was going to be out in those hedgerows, using the gun for hunting or plinking, with shot shells, you're limited to, less than 100 yards of lethal penetration, and so that was a good thing for a new shooter to be doing, reduce the risk of firing and inadvertently overpenetrating and getting somewhere else. So that
I was going to say, Eli, it's in your situation, it kind of came about, I think, naturally almost that you had the availability, or so to speak. I mean, you just had the firearm and the place to do it and so on and so forth. But for me, like if I had never fired a shotgun before, I might be intimidated by what I might think
that's
the shotgun.
A good point.
Yeah. So like in my mind, I don't want to take that step because of hesitation or fear, so I might look at a handgun first, whereas it's a little less intimidating.
Yeah, and that's interesting because as someone who shot all of those platforms, and I don't really remember my first introductions to them because I was young when it happened, then my perception is if I'm brand new, the anxiety that might come with shooting something new would be less for a shotgun because they're easier to control. You got two hands on it in two different places.
Yeah.
The recoil's dispersed to your whole body instead of just your hands and your wrist, with a handgun. But you're right. The average person watching might say, that's a bigger gun.
Right.
It takes a bigger cartridge, so it might be scarier. So I think a couple things we should think about. Maybe we should do a video, brand new, why your first gun should be a pump shotgun. Maybe that should be the title of the video to break that down for you.
Yeah.
So that we could show, hey, brand new shooters, you don't have to worry as much about how to control this thing. We can show you how to hold it so that the recoil isn't too much. And you don't have to jump straight to a 12 gauge. 20 gauge is a very comfortable gun to shoot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I'm mostly shoot 12 gauges, whenever I go out and I get a chance to shoot a 20 hunting clay or doing clays or hunting, I'm always relieved. The gun's lighter, the recoil's lighter. It's just nice and light and easy to use. So that is something that new shooters should consider. So they're going to be able to use shot shells, which are there's different kinds of shot shells. Buckshot is heavier. So you might have 9 to 12 pellets of pretty heavy projectiles that are going to penetrate pretty well. That's ideal for home defense and self-defense. All the way down to a finer shot, like bird shot number 7 or number 8.
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you can do with that. Rabbit hunting, which is actually pretty fun. It's a lot like bird hunting in the fact that you're trying to shoot something that's moving.
Right.
And when you fire a shotgun, you have a pattern that the projectiles create. So instead of a single projectile like you have with a rifle, you have multiple projectiles. Misnomer to say you don't have to aim.
Right.
Because I hear that all.
You have to aim.
You still have to aim.
You just don't have to aim as on spot.
As precisely.
Yeah.
But, you know, if a shotgun patterns at the size of a dinner plate across the distance of, say, what would be an interior of a home,
right,
it's easy to miss by more than that if you're not still learning the fundamentals of shooting. I can make the argument for a pump shotgun, but I could make the argument for something like what Logan started with, which is, I believe, a bolt-action.
A Savage Mark 1. It's a bolt-action 22. It's super simple. Takes 10-round mags. Light, easy to use, pretty safe.
And do we have one of those nearby handy? Because we have a Savage Mark. I grab one. We should have had the mobile camera.
I was going to say, man, I spaced on it until you just said something.
Because I have another thing. So next segment, let's have the mobile camera.
Okay.
Because I have something I want to show our listeners. Something that's going to seem like a plug because it blew me away.
Yeah.
This is not a sponsor. There's no business relationship. But I've found a product that knocked my socks off.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It might have, maybe it could hold your socks up.
You're wearing socks different than I am, but yeah. So
touche.
We'll have the mobile cam going, which is something you guys are going to enjoy if you're watching on the live stream because you're going to get to see more of the store. It's going to be moving around. You're going to get that action. So that'll be coming up in the next segment. But we want to talk about why 22 long rifle is another good option for first-time buyers. The small size of the cartridge and therefore low recoil, less report or noise from the firing of the gun. Now, there's also this another misnomer is you don't need to wear hearing protection when you are firing a 22. That's not true because there's enough decibels coming from 22 long rifle to damage your hearing. But we'll talk about why this could be a great option for a first-time buyer right here on the Gun Shop Show. It would be one thing to just tell you about our deal of the week, the 12 Survivors Pocket Water Filter, but it would be even better just to show you. We came down to the Spring River bottom where the water is famously bad, and Trevor is gonna get me some water. Let's get in there.
Yeah, let's get some dirtiness in there. Nice and dirty. Oh yeah. All that gross.
Let's get some out of this puddle. Scrape it in there nice and deep like. Scoop it.
Oh yeah, look at all that nasty mud. You think it'll taste like chocolate? Artifacts.
All right, our deal of the week, the 12 Survivors Pocket Water Filter. Filters out Salmonella, Giardia, pretty much every bad kind of bacteria and makes water completely safe to drink. I've got the little pre-filter on there, so here we go.
so good.
Actually, it's not bad. Like, it just tastes like regular water. That's really impressive. The 12 Survivors Pocket Water Filter is the deal of the week from Liberty Tree Guns. Getting it supports the Gun Shop Show. You can get it on libertytreeguns.com. Has some really cool features, and it makes even the nastiest water safe to drink. There's a pre-filter that really is just designed to get the sediment out. If the water's cleaner than this, you don't need the pre-filter, but it's also threaded. So that'll thread right onto a normal water bottle or soda bottle. So if you're in a survival situation, you could scoop out the water into a water bottle, thread this on top, carry it with you, and make it safe to drink. Or carry them separately, thread it on just when you need to drink. So get it, libertytreeguns.com. That theme song has been the talk of the town in the region.
I just yesterday, one of the guys here is like, man, that theme song, it gets stuck in your head. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. Right?
That's the point, yeah. So we were talking about why a .22 long rifle makes a great choice as a first-time firearm. And I think when you're talking youth, because a lot of people do get their firearm for the first time as a youngster, the .22 long rifle's got some obvious merit in the fact that the cartridge is manageable in terms of recoil and sound, and I don't think you should ever really choose a firearm because it can quote unquote do less damage.
Yeah.
Because you should never be violating the rules of the golden rules of gun safety, of keeping it pointed in a safe direction, keeping your finger off the trigger. You don't want to say, well, it's okay to do this because it's only a .22. Yeah. But that being said, there's less risk of over travel, less risk of penetration, over penetration. So .22 long rifle is great for learning the fundamentals of how to hold a rifle, how to squeeze the trigger. It's great for taking small game, dealing with pests. You know, if you've got garden pest problems, whether it's
some varmints.
Yeah, varmints that you need to take care of. .22 long rifle is a great way to do it. And there are .22 rifles normally on the market in the $169 range, brand new. However, it is not very often that you could get one with all of the features of the one that I'm holding.
Like that one, Eli?
Like this one. This one's on sale, and I almost can't believe the price. Make sure that I'm not thinking of it wrong, because the number in my head is way less than it feels like it should be. Logan, what are these on sale for?
These are on sale for $149.
$149. It's a Savage Mark II. So some of the things that you're getting on this rifle that you wouldn't get on some price point rifles is you're getting the AccuTrigger, which is an adjustable rimfire trigger. In this case, Savage AccuTrigger is kind of famous for a feature that adds a lot of value to a gun.
Eli, I have no idea. I'm a little ashamed, but what do you mean adjustable trigger?
So the trigger pull on any firearm has a certain pound rating, which means when you squeeze the trigger, it takes X amount of force to fully engage the trigger and fire the gun. And there's a reason for having a variety of those trigger pull weights.
Right.
The lighter, the easier it is to be accurate because it's not
pulling on it as hard.
Pulling on the gun. But too light, and for hunting situations and various, even personal defense situations, it could be too easy to inadvertently activate.
I get that.
So this allows you to use a tool to adjust the trigger pull to fit exactly what you want it for your intended purpose.
So you could be a little more accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which comes into the name, AccuTrigger. You're also getting, this is a full-size gun. This isn't, a lot of the $149 ones are little bitty youth guns with no sights. This one is a full-size gun, good for an adult, but not so big that it's out of the question for youth. You're also getting iron sights. I always think it's a great idea to start out new shooters on iron sights, learn the fundamentals of lining up a rear sight and a front sight before you move them on to an optic. However, you're not limited to those iron sights because this is already drilled and tapped for scope mounts. So you could either use a scope only, or you could use see-through mounts where you have access to the iron sights as well as the optic. So that's on sale, and another great consideration for first-time gun owners. So I want to make sure we don't run out of time. I was going to talk a little bit about if you are going to choose a handgun, what you should choose. But I got to tell our listeners about a product that I'm legitimately excited about. We just recently stocked them in the store. They are not a sponsor of the show.
Okay.
They have not paid me to say any of these things. In fact, I stumbled onto this company because they sent the store a message and said, we've been looking at your store. We like your store. And we would like you to carry our products. And we get that kind of inquiry a lot, right?
Right.
Yeah, all the time.
That is true.
Everybody wants you to buy some of their stuff and hope that you can sell it and so that you buy it again. So almost dismissively, I told Tom, I said, tell him to send me a sample. They even want me to listen to him, tell him to send me a sample. And they did. And that sample is on my body right now.
It changed the course of history for you.
We're talking about Core, K-O-R-E, gun belts. And they've got a unique design. But a gun belt is an important factor in your concealed carry considerations. Because a good gun belt's going to change the way your holster feels, going to change your comfort level day to day. But I want to put that mobile cam into action because we should have used it last segment. We didn't. But real quick, this may not be appreciated, but I'm going to show my Core belt on the live stream.
Do it.
I'm going to have to pick up my mic.
Okay.
And I'm about to
Don't knock over ZZ Gun Tar.
That's you're talking ZZ Top Gun.
Right.
That is the guitar that I use to riff some sweet licks for the opening.
Sweetest of licks.
Sweetness. Yeah. Okay, here we
got
go.
cavities
I'm standing
last
up.
time.
All right.
Do it, show it.
Hang on. I gotta check
Don't say
my
it like
situation. My zipper's funny.
I cut away.
Yeah, it's pointed up.
Like
okay.
haha funny.
You know, it's like pointed out where there's a weird bump.
Oh.
I just.
Well, maybe Logan can show his.
It's not very often that I get my. Let me think. I don't want to say one of the 7 banned words on the radio.
Right. What's one of those words?
Okay. Politically correct. My middle abdomen area. I don't want to say that.
Abs.
I don't. Will we get in trouble for saying?
I think maybe.
Like crotch.
Like pelvic? I don't think
pelvic.
So. Yeah, that's more.
Pelvic region.
That's more doctor sounding.
Yeah, I didn't want to say crotch. That's
no,
just
you can just say pelvis.
So I won't say crotch. Okay.
Okay. You won't say crotch?
No, I won't say crotch.
Don't say crotch.
I don't want to say crotch.
All right, don't say it.
All right. Now I'm going to show you my.
Look at
this. This is Core gun belt. I'm all out of whack here, but
we should use the mobile cam.
I'm showing my belt, bro. I put a lot of effort into this.
I can get real close with a mobile cam.
Well, we can do both. We can cut between.
Too close.
All right. So this is the belt that I'm wearing. They have a proprietary non-hole.
See, if you had a mobile cam, you could show that proprietary technology.
But I'm just telling you. So the rigidness of this belt is one of the many features. But I want to send you off.
We're sending Logan.
With the mobile cam, go across the store. We're going to be, okay, cut to that. Hey, don't go yet till we know you're on the screen. And then let me know in the comments of the live stream. Oh, my gosh. Now people know how your desk looks.
Oh, I didn't show it.
Okay, wait.
Here we go. Cutting.
Cut. All right.
Now we're cut. Let's do it.
Now, can you be steady? All right, so if you are just listening to the audio, we are going through the store, taking you on a trip through Liberty Tree Guns. And then if you look over to the left and you see those spinning cases, those are normally full. We've seen unprecedented sales and demand in the gun industry over the last few months, so normally we'd have those filled up for you. So now is a great time to sell your guns with our consignment program. So Logan has taken you across the store to
the motorcycle.
We have a motorcycle in our store too. So a really cool one with a sidecar, which is available for sale. You can look up that on libertytreeguns.com. And now that he's finally made it over to the core gun belt section, we are coming up on a short break, but we'll be right back talking about core gun belts on the Gun Shop Show.
Hey everybody, it's Eli at Liberty Tree Guns here at 530 West Fur Road in Carthage, Missouri, and I want to show you a gun collection that we just bought from an individual. A little bit of everything in this one. We wrote a check for 22 guns. Got some newer lever guns, cool Henry Silver Boy, some older shotguns. This is a cool old 410 double barrel. This was a good mix. There was some newer type stuff, some old stuff here, some black powder, some cool Colt, black powder revolvers, newer Rugers, Mark IIIs, PMR 30, Taurus Judge, couple of Taurus revolvers, got a long slide 1911 right here, and then got this cool Llama 45. We just sold the sister to that gun in 38 Super. This particular individual, this was half the collection that we bought from him. And so I just want to remind you that we pay top dollar for entire collection, so we'll buy one gun or 100 from you, and we can offer consignment where we sort of establish what these guns are worth and we pay you out when they sell. Or in the case of this one, we offered consignment, we discussed it, and then we offered a cash price, which was a little bit less than the consignment settlement price, but it's quick. It was one check, and we paid those all out to this individual. And probably the biggest, baddest, coolest one of the whole mix was this Bushmaster BA-50. So we have everything from little antique 22s to 50 cals in this one collection. I want to remind you that we'd love a chance to collection. Find us at libertytreeguns.com on Fur Road in Carthage. See you soon.
We are back on the Gun Shop Show, and we are testing out the mobile Logan Cam, the Logan Mobile Cam. Which one are we going to call that?
Mogan Cam.
The Mogan Cam. So he's all the way across the store, and he is at the section of core gun belts where we have those on display. And this is a product that, again, way exceeded my expectations. They're not paying me to talk. A difference in your life as a gun owner, and so I'm encouraging you to check these out because it made a difference for me.
Well, not only that, Eli, everyone here is now a proud owner of the core custom belts, and I'm wearing mine right now.
Literally every one of our salesmen is wearing these on a daily basis. Okay, Logan, now I want to show off the features, which might mean that you need to move across the store to the display. So what's great, but he can't answer back. So
say anything you want about Logan right now.
Logan's mom, even. Sorry, Logan's mom. We know you're a loyal listener of the show. We want to use your mama jokes on Logan, but we like you, so we're constantly conflicted. So if you can give us an alternative, a way we could get a sick burn on Logan without disrespecting his mama, we take any kind of suggestion. So here's a little countertop display for core gun belts. Now, why a gun belt over a regular belt? Regular belts are not generally equipped to handle the extra weight and burden of a concealed firearm.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they can hold up to it usually that's only temporarily because they'll wear down. If you've ever used just a regular leather belt and then you had a metal or plastic gun clip in the weight of a gun, it'll start to deteriorate that leather or material until it's weakened at that point. It also causes extra flex on your firearm. In fact, I realize that I'm getting ready to talk about all the things that we already have a video for.
That's right,
Maybe
do.
we should just play that so I'm not repeating it all. They probably did a much better job talking about it, and then we'll come back and cover in any gaps that I didn't cover.
All right.
And then, Logan, if you can stay in that area while we play this, that would be great.
Introducing the most advanced gun belt ever. The ultimate belt for concealed carry. Designed to not look like a gun belt. We believe in keeping the element of surprise on your side. Traditional belts have belt holes that are 1 inch apart or more. Core EDC gun belts are designed with no belt holes. Using a hidden 10-inch track with over 40 micro-sized positions to adjust with, this track is 800% more adjustable than a traditional belt with holes. Why does this matter? Because it clicks to your exact waist size every time you put it on. It is the most comfortable, concealed, and durable carry gun belt, keeping your holstered firearm right at your side. Its durability creates no movement or slag when you need to draw fast. Our gun belts are available in top grain leather or nylon web tactical. More importantly, inside all our gun belts is our proprietary Flex Core Center that adds strength, durability, and stiffness. There's never any sag or rollover. This reinforced core makes the belt perfect for IWB, OWB, or appendix carry. To adjust or remove the belt, just squeeze the small tab under the belt. We feature a handful of classic buckle styles in alloy and solid stainless steel. See what a difference a great gun belt can make. It's the best fitting, best looking gun belt you will ever wear. Core, made for man.
So the adjustability of these things was probably the overwhelming feature. Logan, it looks like you have one of those in your hands. And again, this is not a paid endorsement by Core Gun Belts. It is just something that I believe in. The value is immediately there. So, Logan, I tell you what, why don't you bring that over here, because I know you're going to have a hard time showing off some of the features that I want to talk about while you hold the mobile cam. So we're coming back to the store set. As you can see, that's actually a pretty cool shot. I like that mobile cam. Good job. Now bring that on over, and then you just kind of, over my shoulder, or however we want to. Look at that. Okay, so you seeing those hats in the background. But let me show you some features of this thing that is interesting. So no matter which style of buckle you get, because I have buckles that look really traditional in terms of it doesn't look like a gun belt. It looks like it buckles through a hole in the leather, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no matter what style you get, now get in here tight, you're going to have this adjustability track. And you may hear a little bit of audio coming back through, but that's just the Mogan Cam audio playing back through my mic. Apologize for that. But anyway, as this goes through, you have a mechanism here that engages those, which allows you to tighten your belt a 1/4 inch at a time, which one of the downsides of a regular belt is sometimes one setting is way too tight,
mm-hmm.
and the next setting is way too loose, especially when you add the weight and cumbersomeness of a firearm to your waistline. So
yeah, I'd almost argue that this is just a great belt in general.
If I didn't carry a gun, I would still use this belt.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I'm never going to not carry a gun
right
until I'm dead. So I'm always going to be carrying a gun. But even if I didn't, I would this belt. I didn't mean to cut you off, Trevor.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say I lost a considerable amount of weight and had to punch several holes in a belt to keep from having to continue to buy one. This one I could have just cinched up.
Yeah, so when you get this, and the great thing is we're not having to stock a bunch of different sizes. So what you have is when you get it, it's going to fit 95% of people size. And when you get it, there's markings. See how tight we can get on those markings.
Oh, we can see them.
Yeah, you can see those. There we go. It encourages you to add 4 inches to your pant size. So for me, I wear 32, and so I would come to the 36 mark, trim this belt, and then it's so easy to put the goes. So you trim this off and then put the buckle in and tighten it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a custom fit belt that is adjustable up to 10 inches from that point by single little clicks. And I find myself, based on the activity, I went out on a boat this weekend and was, of course, carrying while I was out there. And I was just mindful as I'm getting ready. I'm carrying stuff. My hands are all full. And I'm getting ready to step off of a dock and onto a boat, and just got the sense I'd like to have a little more secure feeling on my belt. So I was able to just reach down and you hear the little click. I was going to see if you could hear that.
I could hear it.
Yeah. That's the adjustability of the belt. And then when you need to loosen it, it's literally just a simple lever to loosen it. So core gun belts, those are in stock at Liberty Tree Guns. I was amazed when you went over there, Logan. We've already sold a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And because when you put it on and you feel how much more rigid it keeps your gun without causing you to be uncomfortable, it is a pretty obvious benefit, or at least I felt that it was.
Well, something else, Eli, I believe that little mechanism under there that's catching the nodes is a quick release lever. So you can have a tactical and a more like a dressy style belt and have one buckle, right? And just switch back and forth between the buckles.
Yeah, you absolutely can put that. I went ahead and just got 2 buckles and 2 belts because I know having a leather one's going to be handy for me if I need to dress a little nicer. So what's great about these is they got a variety of buckle styles, and there's sort of one for every look and every occasion.
Yeah. We talked about this previously about these belts, but, a little after dinner growth in the old pants as things are making an exit you can just give it a little pop and now you're not uncomfortable anymore.
And it's not as obvious as just undoing a traditional belt.
Right, yeah. They're like, what's this guy doing, taking his belt off?
You can just discreetly give yourself the after overeating belt expansion. No problem. So if you're just tuning in, this has been the Gun Shop Show. We've had a great time so far. We've got a little bit of time left here with you, but this is the only radio/TV/web show that comes to you from the sales floor of Liberty Tree Guns. And in order for it to work, we need you to be engaged. We've got so many great listeners that already are engaged, but we ask you to share the feed, because regardless of what timeline you share it, even if you share it now toward the end of the show, people are going to be able to see the whole episode. So that helps get the word out. We also ask that we put on this show and we try to make it make sense, but we ask that you just support us. Just keep us in mind when it's time to buy a gun. We don't spend a ton of time plugging what it is that we do here, but we have built a pretty good size business on the back of how we treat our customers. So it's always been our mission to treat our customers right, to make them feel like family when they come in the store.
That's right.
And that's how we view them. We certainly wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them. But we don't ask for anything. We ask you to be a listener. And then when it comes time, when you're ready to make a purchase, keep Liberty Tree Guns, your friends in the gun business, in mind. And every week on Saturdays, tune in to the Gun Shop Show. We'll be right back. The Gun Shop Show costs money to make, and the Gun Shop Show is brought to you by pecans and cheese. Not really. Actually, we didn't have any sponsors for this segment, and So I decided that I would take a snack break. And also, I decided if you guys are tired of listening to me eat cheese and nuts, that you need to buy an ad. So from now on, if our ad sponsorships don't sell out, you're going to have to listen to me eat nuts and cheese. In order to sponsor the Gun Shop Show, send us an email at thegunshopshow@gmail.com.
Next week, chips.
We are back on the Gun Shop Show, and believe it or not, even with 2 hours, we still have an overflow.
I mean, there's so much to talk about.
I know, and we have a fun time with our listeners in the live stream, and all over the countryside listening to us. We've talked a little bit about decisions and how to form those decisions as you make your first gun purchase, but that is something that we'll always be talking about on the Gun Shop Show, is how to decide what to use for what. But I wanted to say thanks to a few people.
Okay.
I wanted to say thanks to Zimmer Radio for hosting the Gun Shop Show on News Talk KZRG. We're live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on News Talk KZRG. I also want to thank all of our Gun Shop Show Facebook group members. They're like 2,600 members so far.
Yeah, I think we're starting to push $3,000.
I think it's 2,620 right now.
Yeah, so we encourage you to go there, use the invite button. I'm going to make a push. I'm going to try to get us over 3,000 soon. So we'll do that this week. I wanted to say thank you to some brand new sponsors, which we'll introduce you to in the next few shows. But we have our flagship sponsor, U.S. Law Shield, which is legal defense for your self-defense. We have Whitehead Feed and Farm Supply. So we're going to be introducing you to some good folks that run that place. We have the Woodshed on the square, the burger and steak joint, which I'm taking the whole crew out for steak dinners next week.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about the steak over the burger now.
I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, can we just move that up to today?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Yeah, so that's happening. We're going up there. The Deck Company of Joplin. We've got Old Glory Auctions. I know I'm going to forget some right now.
What was the properties? Whitetail Properties? You mentioned that one?
Whitetail Properties. We may be having them on the show next week.
And there was an insurance one? Is that right?
Very good. You have Farm Bureau Insurance, my insurance agent, who is also a gun owner and also a customer of Liberty Tree Guns.
Yeah.
He has sponsored the show. So all of these people, including our listeners, make the show possible. And I want to urge you, always share the stream. Invite people to the Gun Shop Show group. Get the podcast. A lot of people say, oh, well, I have to be doing X, Y, Z. I know a guy said I have to mow the yard, so I can't listen.
What better time to listen than when you're mowing the yard?
Yeah, get the podcast. It's on. And if you always have older folks, and I ain't good with that computer stuff. Okay, so you can do this on your own. But if you need to, get somebody who's used to using these things. Just go to the App Store on your phone. Get any of the major podcast players. I use Stitcher. I don't know why. I have had it on my phone for a long time. It's just a program that'll play just about any content that you want to listen to.
Right.
So search Stitcher or search Google Podcasts, or if you're
Spotify.
If you're on Apple, just go to iTunes and type in the Gun Shop Show.
That's right.
And you can get that download. And once you click subscribe in the podcast, it's always going to pop up on your phone when a new episode. So right when it gets done on the radio and TV, you're going to get a little notification that you have a new episode you can listen to.
That is correct. I subscribe to it, and as soon as it's available on Google Podcasts, I get notified.
Yeah. So we appreciate all of those sponsors. We are still accepting a few. There's not a lot of spaces left, but we are accepting a few new sponsors, and sponsorships of the Gun Shop Show are more than just advertisements. This is folks that believe in the Second Amendment, that believe in what we're doing here, that enjoy both the information and the nonsense and entertainment that we try to bring to you each week. And so if you have a business that you would like to bring attention to, you can do that with a sponsorship of the Gun Shop Show. All you need to do is send an email, or you can private message us, whatever's easy. Reach out to us in the Gun Shop Show group on Facebook. Let us know you'd like to be a sponsor and what your business is. Now, generally, we don't allow overlapping. So, like, if you are an insurance agent, sorry, my insurance agent has that sort of locked down. So, but if you've got a category that we don't already have a sponsor for, you should reach out to us, and we'll put together a package that'll work for you and gets you some extra exposure for your business. And we encourage our listeners to do business with those like-minded folks that sponsor the show and make it possible.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. Sorry if we missed anything, because even with 2 hours to go, I'm blown away by how quickly we burned through some of this stuff. So
we're going to have to go for 3 hours. Have to carve out an afternoon.
We can't.
Next up on the afternoon of the Gun Shop Show.
No, we can't do it. But you know what? I think it's time to finally say goodbye for this week.
If only we had some sad music.
If only we had a way to know that the show was coming up.
Oh.
There it is.
It's not sad.
We also have a new cool video intro you may have noticed. Let me know in the comments if you like the video intro. We enjoy having you. It's always a blast on the Gun Shop Show.